Let's see if we can't do something about my boredom.
Unfortunately, we don't have the staff that casts Bolt just yet. But Tommy with the Serpent Sword is more than enough to take out some Sahagins. Arrowed. Oh, Jeremy's not going to retarget him. What a shame. What a shame. Dead. Everybody gaining skill ups. Now, if we sail right over here, we're back to Canaan, where we left Sid and Mrs. Sid, son. They might just be done reacquainting themselves with each other and their marital relations. This is going to be a by-the-book sea battle, son. Just watch it. Damn. If only Jeremy had done a little bit more damage. I'm not pointing fingers or anything, but if only Jeremy had put forth the slightest amount more effort, it would have been by the book. Alright, where do we want to sail? We could advance the plot, but there's also side areas we can get to. Oh boy. Oh boy! Well, hey, there's just a solid bucket mess, y'all. Bolt 2 for the boys. Then you're going to hit that, and you're going to hit that. And then you're going to mop up anyone left. What a plan. Damn. I wonder if the enemies way in the back are considered in the back row. And that's why we have such a hard time hitting them. I need to check the ancient text later. Well, that didn't do as big cash money damage as I hoped it would, but we're getting there. We're still having a hashtag good time, and that's the important thing. As always, leave a comment if you're having a hashtag good time. What? I wasn't even looking at the screen. I was so certain they were going to finish the fight right then. I'm not mad at you, crowd, but I am disappointed. Sorry, I was getting the ancient text queued up for the next session, we'll call it. Okay. Alright, we're getting there. Just an excuse for y'all to hear more music. Alright, so there's a castle up here. So this castle's not full of ghosts. This castle is just abandoned. And as always, that means everything inside is our property as Warriors of Light. So let's take our time plundering that booty. Also, we can get free heals while we're here. Here, ancient text, give me a little refresher of where all my free stuff that belongs to me is. I didn't mean to heal twice. It's like taking too many Flintstones vitamins, boys. You heal too much, you'll get killed. This is a reviving spring over here. Dash has turned purple. Alright, the first hidden area is obviously right here. Bomb Shard. Southwind. And you might be thinking, well, that's everything. I guess we could sail around looking for the world's most beautiful women. I think that's one of the main reasons people invented boats back in the day. Oh, this is our gas castle, by the way. Oh yeah, and you can walk through here. Try to keep up, Dash. My God. Another paralyzer. That's an item that casts a paralyze spell. Don't tell Master Betty that we have it. Can't walk through the back of the king's chair. Unfortunately. What if I were to touch this torch? Secret walls and secret doors. Ah, of course. They never expect you to walk around through the void. $1,000, $1,000, $1,000. Oh boy. That's spending money. Look at all this free shit. Loads of money. Excuse me, one of these treasure chests was really anemic. Two of them treasure chests needed to eat their vegetables. Alright, there are more items to get, but there are locked doors in the way. So we're either going to need magic keys, or we're going to need some kind of job class that can pick locks. Maybe a class that uses daggers, specializes in running away from fights. I don't know what you'd call a class like that. They might even be able to pilfer items from their foes. You're like, is he talking about Ray from Breath of Fire 3? Like, well, no, but if Ray from Breath of Fire 3 wants to join my party, I'm not going to say no. Maybe he'll bring Cat with him. Alright, so plot advancement is north. Let's sail south. Sea fish. And everyone died. The end. I do like how by making Ben a black mage, we have a nice, representation of two different palettes. All we need is a class that uses the green palette that Onion Boy Tommy had. Now there's a village over to the left that we want to go to early, but the sea at the moment doesn't connect over there, so we're going to have to walk across the land. Ignore the floating tree castle fortress. We'll deal with that later. Dash is like, are we advancing the plot? Is the plot over here? What's that? Is that the script? Switch over to our white mage. The Ancients Village. Now there is a free item here that I want, if I can remember exactly. It's somewhere over here by this tree, I think. Either this tree or that tree up there. Let's see. Am I remembering right? I say. Where the... Okay, there it is. You have to search this tree from this side. It's a bonus serpent sword. And as always, that's a good thing. What say you, armor smith? That's some good stuff. So that headband and Kenpo are monk armors. We've got a shitload of money too, boys. So let's get him some good gear. Let's get our wizards some wizard's robes. We just need wizard hats to go with them. The flame mail is good. I guess we can go ahead and buy one. Why not? We'll probably find more later, but we can just sell them. That'll be our selling armor. The flood of light. The ancients used the crystals and manipulated the power of light. But the light began to destroy the world. It was too great a power for humans to wield. Then 4 warriors came from the dark world and forced back the flood of light. But the ancients had already mostly perished. The few survivors moved on to this land. Are you talking about the Cetra? It's the wrong Final Fantasy, jackass. This continent is floating in the sky. Spoilers. The Tower of Owen. I do like that this guy, his little story is about how, you know how in most Final Fantasy games, the forces of darkness are like overwhelming the world. And so the light warriors have to restore the light crystals to beat it back. Well, apparently there's an alternate dark world. And in the past, the power of the light crystals was abused and light started consuming everything. So then dark warriors using the dark crystals had to fight back. So it's just, you know, neat little yin-yang thing, son. Not everything's as simple as you think it is. Alright, first and foremost, we need the sight spell. And then we could get Exit Wash. That's got to be like in... Is it in Suna? It's got to be a curing... Oh, I can't carry any more items. I guess that's a good excuse to start selling some shit. Alright, give me just a sec. Now, Sight is the 3rd level 1 white magic. And like I said, it generates that map. There might be some shenanigans about to be afoot involving the Sight spell. You kids that know NES Final Fantasy III and its eccentricities will say. You're like, well, you'll say it because it's a word you fucking made up. Eccentricities? Is that what I'm trying to say? Is that the unnecessarily big word I'm trying to use to make you all think I'm cool? Well, regardless, it's going to help us out. Let's give Chris his new gear. Headband. Kinpo. Alright, I think that was all the... We bought Chris a... well, not Chris. We brought Tommy a flame mail. That's right. I forgot about that. Flame mail Tommy, they used to call him. Until he started beating the shit out of every person. He's like the wrestling guy from Hatage Kimono Michi. You know, that anime all y'all watched. Whenever anyone called him like the Demon Beast Slayer, he would get really mad and like suplex them through a wall. It's a good anime. If I'm thinking about it when I do my little pinned comment where I link things I referenced, I'll have to remember to put the intro there for you. Maybe it'll get y'all hyped to watch it. It's isekai, but it's like humorous isekai. Is that a thing? Fans of Oji-san, Isekai Oji-san would probably enjoy it. Isekai Oji-san came back recently, I think. It's been months since we got to see his exploits. You're like, man, I like this playthrough better before TMVA started weaving out. Chocobos. What the hell's that? That sounds like a made-up word. When something occurs, light or dark selects 4 people and trust them with their power. The Dark Warriors. Yeah, I already explained that to everybody. Idiot. God. Like a waste of my time. Oh, that's right. We needed to buy magic for our shenanigans that are about to be afoot. Okay. So now we can sell some of this lower level gear. Sell all of these cloth armors. Still keep those leather helms just in case. We can sell this dagger. We can sell these mithril swords. Yeah, just sell that leather shield's just taking up space. Now that we've reached the point, should I hang on to these leather? I mean, I could buy more, but I'd have to go back to like the starting town. And there are some classes that like can't wear some of the other gear we have, is why I'm holding on to this shit. Alright, cool. Alright, sir. I will take an exit and a wash. Now, thank you very much. So exit is nice because it exits dungeons. It's nice to get it this early in the game so we can get more use out of it. And red mages can cast it as well. Good for us. Okay, that's just what we wanted. Shenanigans are almost afoot. Let's go visit the weapons store. Alright, so let's see. So yeah, this killer bow, the black mage cannot equip. Also, we can start buying elemental arrows, so that's cool. If we were shooting arrows in the ocean, we would want bolt arrows. We could also get more white slayers if we wanted a bunch of dual-wielding red mages, and who wouldn't? We've already got 2 serpent swords, so let's go ahead and get Jeremy a freezing staff. So now he can cast fire and blizzard for free, or ice and fire. We're just going to alternate between the fire, Firaga, Firaja, and Fire 1, Fire 2, Fire 3 dichotomy. It wasn't until Final Fantasy VIII came out in the West that we started using that naming scheme for the different tiers of spell. But as far as I understand it, in Japan, they always, did it that way. Because, you got more spaces with the kanji, and the ro manji, and the ju manji, and the katakana. You know how it is. Alright, let's go take care of some business outside the town. What say you, little fella? If you go all the way around the Continental Chocobo, you'll give us a prize. Oh boy. We were talking to Dash by accident. I was like, who the hell is talking to us? If we just walk, will he eventually get back in line with us? I guess not. Just know that all this shit you're seeing with our follower NPCs doesn't normally happen. It's just because they patched in the run feature. Descendants of the Ancients, huh? Did Genova fuck all of y'all to death? Can't stop making future Final Fantasy references. Alright, what do we want out of here? I thought for sure they sold Gishel Greaves here. I guess not. My mistake. Although we can start getting high potions now once we have a lot of money. Those restore like 500 HP and they're real nice to have. They're a good thing. Enough running my mouth. Get me outside of town. Alright, here's how we're going to go about this. Let's save. I want to get into a fight just so my inventory will be auto-sorted. It'll make this easier to deal with, what we're about to do. Lynx, huh? Those look like blue werewolves, but call them whatever you want. Name them after whatever failed handheld you want to name them after. Here we go. Fire 2. You're just making him angry. He's like Mungo when you try to shoot him. You'll just make him angry. Okay. I don't know if they're particularly weak to fire or any other element, so I guess I could just cast indiscriminately. That should be enough that I don't need to make Jeremy cast a spell just because I don't feel like going through the item menu. I'm hoping our combined efforts will end the fight on this round. I'm counting on Ben to do big cash money ice damage right here at the end. Every enemy's been meleeed at least once. Oh yeah, did I mention recently how Ben is constantly putting the whole team on his back, son? Alright, good. So, how much inventory space do we have? Ooh, yeah, more than enough. Alright, so here's the plan. First of all, I will show you the sight magic and what it does. Sight beyond sight. Boom. So it gives you a detailed map, but this is, of course, only of a small region of the overworld map. Because if you look to the right, that little peninsula in the very middle with the glowing dot, that's the Neptune Temple. Nepto Temple. And that one kind of towards the top middle, in the middle of that peninsula, is that castle we just raided. And all the way in the top right, that's actually the castle from the beginning of the game. It's just inside of that mountain range. So that basically gives you an idea how much we're looking at. And of course, the left is the edge of the world because, as was spoiled earlier, we are on a floating continent right now. So anyway, the point of all that is there's a glitch in the game where if right now we were to unequip Jeremy's magic, we're just going to do these 3 to make it less tedious, and then we cast Sight, it immediately goes to this screen. Then if we go back to Jeremy's magic menu, it re-equipped the spells that we unequipped. But if we were to look at our inventory, the ones we unequipped are there as well, and you can sell your excess copies of spells. So basically, for every casting of Sight, we get back all the magic we unequipped. Now, if I wanted to super min-max, I'd unequip all of his magic, but it sells for such a small amount. Plus, we're not allowed to sell mini scrolls because they're plot relevant, which means they'd just permanently be in our inventory until we find a way to store them. Spoilers. So we're just going to do it with those top 3. So I'm going to do this until I've used up all of my Sight charges. But instead of sitting here and making y'all watch it, I'll just jump ahead. So I'll see y'all here in a minute. Alright, we've used up all castings of Sight, and now in our inventory, look at that, 12 of each of these. Another nice thing about this is it lets us duplicate magic, for equipping on our party as well. So for, future proofing, it wouldn't be bad to slap a Cure 2 on a couple of our characters, in case we need more healers later. Same thing with Exit. I'm trying to figure out what spell Wash is, because Insuna is a much higher spell. Oh, you know what it is? Blindna. I bet that's what it is. It's the spell that cures blindness. For some reason, the translators decided to call it Wash. I guess maybe the Japanese name of the spell is the word for Wash. I don't know. If any of y'all actually speak Japanese instead of just broken Weeblish like I tend to use from time to time, let me know. Alright, so now we can march our ass into town, to the store. And we can sell all. Boom, boom, boom. So there you go. And the later in the game we get, the more expensive spells we learn. So we can redo this anytime we need to and get our money back. So basically, we don't have to worry about money anymore. Now, I can understand if you don't want to use this trick and you want to play through the game as normal. Like, I don't blame you. But it would be much more tedious. And for the purposes of this playthrough and entertaining you all, I'm just going to cheat. It's a legitimate strategy, I believe. Alright, so let's get some potions. Can't carry anymore. How many do I have? I'm carrying 91, so we need to buy 2 sets of 4. Boom, boom. Okay, cool. High potions. Get us a stack of them for desperate healing times. Okie dokie. Let's see. Do we need anything else from this town before we leave? We bought everybody armor and weapons. Nah, for now we're good. So let's get our spell charges back. Eventually we're going to want to dupe the Ice 2, Bolt 2, and Fire 2 spells. Because, the White Mage doesn't have to be able to cast the spells to duplicate them. They've just got to be equipped in that inventory screen before you use the Sight spell. I guess we could impress that little kid who was telling us to ride a chocobo around the world. If only we had a chocobo. If only there was a forest that stood out as a chocobo forest. son, isn't it so satisfying after Final Fantasy II's Chocobo music to actually get the full song? So this is the first instance of the Chocobo song having the full part. Yeah, baby. So we won't get in any random battles while we ride the Chocobo, but if we get off of him, he will run away. Now, unlike Final Fantasy II, there are multiple Chocobo forests located around the world, so we'll get more use out of them than just that one particular area. And that's the way the news goes. This better be some good shit, son. Oh boy. So once again, that's the item that casts sight. Unfortunately, you can't use it to duplicate magic because you don't use it from the magic menu. You use it from the item menu. So what can you do? Alright, well, now that we're more constituted. Remember these things? One of them was guarding the White Slayer earlier. But now we can fight all of them. And since they're a flying enemy, Jeremy can do big cash money damage with an arrow spell. Damn. I thought for sure we'd one cycle them. I was so confident and such a fool. Oh hey, a nice level up. It's always a good thing. Alright, well luckily the trek back to our boat won't be as bad because we can just grab a chocobo. So this town right here has something to do with this place, but we're not going there yet. And there's not really anything to obtain, I don't believe, so I'm not worried about it. Back in our boat. We're about to restore our HP and MP, so that's why I don't mind casting spells for fun and profit, literally, because we get money at the end of the fight. I think Final Fantasy XII is the only one to ever address, well, technically 11 too, the whole thing about how weird it is that fighting random animals and monsters in the woods, they drop like currency, like human currency. Because in 12, you would find like parts of the animals, like fangs and claws, and then you would take them to a pawn shop and vendor them and get the cash equivalent. And in Final Fantasy 11, only the like humanoid mobs dropped money, and the regular ones just dropped items that you could vendor or put on the auction house. It had like an economy. God, making money in Final Fantasy 11 back when I used to play it was rough. You're out there farming crawlers in Saruta Baruta, hoping they drop their silk and hoping they don't put poison on you. Poison was a damn death sentence at low levels. And you couldn't just carry antidotes with you in Final Fantasy 11 because they costed a fortune from the vendor. Good times. In its own strange way, it was a good time. Hermits. Alright, I'm going to bolt you. You're going to fight that. You're going to fight that. And you're going to help make sure the one Chris attacks dies. There is a staff that casts Bolt, but unfortunately they didn't sell it at that store. It would be extremely useful to have at this point in the game. I assume that's why Sakaguchi didn't put it in that store. Because it would have been too helpful. The sheer thought of it. Made his blood boil. We have such a balanced, like, Final Fantasy I party of fighter, monk, black mage, white mage. Alright, that's where we actually need to go to advance the plot. That's the Tower of Owen. And you'll see that little whirlpool over there. That's what's stopping us from sailing around the rest of the continent. But there is an item we need to get in that tower, and it's over here. Knockers, son. Boris from GoldenEye must be nearby. Okay, I'm thinking you do that, and you do that. Oh no, they've become Tommy knockers. I thought for sure that melee boys would one-shot them. God, once again, the most painful 68 damage. Freezing. Alright, so this time, I'm thinking you should be able to kill that one. You two should be able to finish that one off. Bada bing, and might I go so far as to add bada boom. Butter beans. Dead. Dead. And also dead. You love to see it. Well, who's that swimming around in that lake? We'll deal with them later. Much later. Is later. Much later. Gorgon Valley. Now, if you remember the opening, it said the Gurgan, or however you're supposed to announce that, like saw into the future that darkness was going to swell out and that the light warriors would appear. So this is where they live. Thought Dash might talk about them. So there are a bunch of blind seers that can see the future. They couldn't see the future of seers going out of business, though, which is the saddest part. The Valley of the Gurgans. I like how y'all have, I assume, a fancy meal under a silver platter or whatever. Power of the Earth. I see. The Power of Fire is in the Dwarf Lands. That's a good place for it. When the tower emits a red flame, it is about to fall. At that time, a man who is to alter fate shall awaken. What do you think, Dash? This guy sounds like a huge asshole, doesn't he? Oh, here you go. He's talking about the Gurgans, finally. If people knew the future, it would only bring them sadness. Damn, that's poignant. It's unclear, so you can only vaguely see the future. Some Professor Manhattan shit. The Living Forest. Well, you just repeated what someone else said. The earthquake was but an omen. Are you the guy from the intro? That sounds familiar. Alright. Real useful knowledge. What does this guy down here gets his own room have to say? We got Toad magic. You was also almost a Toad magic. So Toad is white magic as well. So spoilers, this next dungeon we can't get into unless we're frogs. So that's the next gimmick. Toad is another level 2 magic spell for the white mage. The consummate white mage. Try to keep up, Dash, sweetheart, honey. Just sailed 3 feet. Alright, the Tower of Owen. Ominous. Dasher's like, can we just go inside so I can remember my destiny? Did you guys hear a frog? Dash, did you hear a frog? Okay, well, we ain't got to be frogs just yet. I love the sprite of the little white mage looking over the water. Black mage, just a hat. Okay. Do we dive in? Only a frog could, really. Okay, then let us become as frogs. Boom. Dash is a frog too. Alright, now that we're in... Damn it, we got in a fight. I was going to say, now that we're inside, I don't think we have to remain as frogs. You can't even cast magic as a frog, I don't think, other than to cast frog to defrog yourself. So let's just run away. Defenseless. And Ben actually runs away, and the party avoids some unnecessary damage. Alright, if you could be a deer and defrog us, that would be ever so lovely. So at least you don't have to stay in frog form for the whole damn dungeon, but it is aggravating you got to use up white magic char. I guess you could buy a bunch of Maiden's Kisses. I would have done that, but we're running low on inventory space. I need some Gishel greens. It will be your grave. Who's talking? How do you, Dash? Is this place ringing some bells for you? Pike Man. What say you, Pike Man? Let's see how this goes. Miss. Well, you hit him for 1 fucking damage. Good job. Okay, good. Tommy can one-shot. One-shot Tommy. And there we go. Everyone just melee. If we use up some of these iron arrows, we'll get more inventory space. Keep it on, keep it on. I guess we could do some black mage times for fun. I figured he'd say something different on every floor, but I guess not. The Maid Kiss. So that's an item that cures frogging. One of them anti-frogger items, as it's named. I'm gonna hit you with ice. You're gonna fight. You're gonna fight. And you help me finish that one off. Old one-shot Tommy wasn't in best form today, unfortunately. But it did get everybody into just hold down the melee button range. Oh no, not Tommy. What would we ever do if he's not yelling and hollering? Somehow we won. I believe mute persists after battle, but luckily Tommy don't cast magic, which means he ain't got no need to say nothing. Like you don't either, with bad grammar like that, Uncle Tenfey. Gee whiz. Have you now? Was this place ever so familiar to you, my friend? Feral Jags. That's a neat name. Alright, I think if you two attack that, Tommy attacks that, and Jeremy just attacks everything, maybe we'll be alright. Oh yeah. And a light icing, Farjalug. Guess it's better named than a leprechaun. For an angry little feller with a spear in his short pants. Somebody's getting tickled. You're an ancient. Don't let Hojo find that out, son. He'll lock you in a room with Red 13 and just wiggle his eyebrows, son. Start playing some jazzy music. and let things go from there. Alright, let's see how this turns out. I don't think a single bolt will one-shot them, but we can hope. We have to place all of our faith in John Travolta. Well, you tried to turn us into frogs? I don't much care for that. Well, look at that. One-shot bolt was real. Arrowed. Getting them skill ups. Boom. The Tyrvening. So that's a red mage sword. I think there's a sword with that name in Symphony of the Night that's like a dark sword, and for some reason it does very low damage. I guess unless you're fighting a holy enemy. Unless you're fighting Richter Belmont. So it must be something from mythology. If any of you actual historians or scholars want to chime in on it, feel free to. Just keep wandering forever. If I remember right, there's a switch in the wall on the 5th floor, 8 steps from the left. Well, that's nice, but we could also just click on all of them. Boom. Oh, he Shuki. I Shuki. I just prefer like Mad Face or whatever these things used to be called. We could use one of our big spells on them, but I don't know if that's necessary. Tell you what, everybody attack your own enemy, and let's see if we get lucky. Well, no, not with Tommy doing 35 fucking damage. We're not going to get lucky. Daft Punk's not even going to answer the phone. They'll go to bed at 7:30. Then ain't no need to stay up all night at that point. Well, look at that. The humble white mage. One-shot the enemies. Okay. Well then, let's keep this train rolling. There ain't no getting off this train, as they say. Damn. I always get, I'm like here holding my breath, so excited that we're going to end the fight in one strategic round, and we seem to always do just a little too much damage. Tommy, of course, making it up to me by hitting for the magic number, the sweet spot. And we even got 420 gil at the end, boys. I have to walk back and flip that fucking switch again. That's how they get you, son. The old switcheroo. It's fun to say, but annoying to deal with. Okay, at least we got past the barrier that time. Little fellers, filled with piss and vinegar. And there you go. Maid Kiss. So what? So is a Maid's Kiss, I assume it's just a potion that has the name Maiden's Kiss because it cures frog. But maybe it's like a lady put on a lot of lipstick and like kissed a piece of wax paper so that it has the imprint of her lips on it. And like, if you're a frog, you push it up against your frog mouth and it heals you. Does any of this make sense? Are y'all appreciating my fan fictions? Alright, how are we going to go about this one? I'm thinking you hit that with ice, and Chris can beat the shit out of it. We're going to pray Tommy gets big hits, and then a solid arrow will take that one out. 69, dude. Oh yeah, you love big damage Tommy. Hopefully we don't get turned into frogs anymore because all of my level 2 charges are gone. Not that it stopped Jeremy from skilling up, of course. Oh god, I've become disoriented. Which way was I going? These look like upstairs. Dash over there floating. Well, look at this fun group of enemies. How quaint. Let's see, what can we do? I'm going to have faith that he can kill both of them with a bolt too. I'm going to use the good magic. And you just help them boys fight them lemurs. He did it. He helped. Blood bat. Bloody bat, huh? It'd be the perfect opportunity to make a Kimono of Magic Foxy Rena reference, but I won't. Because I know such things would upset you kids frightfully. Alrighty. Speaking of anime, when are we going to get a Foxy Rena anime? Sun 69 appearing on the screen right when I say Foxy Rena is a sign. Everyone's gaining levels. Everyone's real disheveled. You know, because we've been adventuring and haven't had a chance to freshen up. Speaking of which, I haven't taken one bathroom break this is the same first, I don't know how I'm going to divide these episodes up, but this is the first recorded session. My ass hasn't left this chair since I started this recording. So, y'all are lucky I haven't had to take piss breaks. Tommy ordered 2 69s, and he deserves both of them. I was wondering why he invited both Tifa Lockhart and Noi from Dora Hedora over, but now I know. Okay. Well, look at you, ain't you just a bunch of little fucks? Just a pack of fuckers, I believe they're known as. I don't want to use my good magic. Here, you get a bolt. There we go. Oh, thank God they're only muting my melee characters. Muting the melee. Of course, we've got Echo Herbs. Remember, we have one from the very beginning of the game, from where we gave that old man in the first town a potion. It's like the candy corn under Problem Sleuth's hat. Son, it's going to get us to the end of the game. Alright, I'm thinking he's getting low on level 1 magic. You attack that, and you just help kill whatever's left. 96, that's the even worse than 68. As always, Jeremy helped. You can't mute Ben. If Ben gets mute called on him, then the rest of the playthrough is just a long play. I'd have to sit here in complete silence. Alright. How is his arrow stock? He's still got 15. Has he only shot 5 arrows? You equip 20 at a time. Yeah, I guess it is. Neat. Now, one thing you can do if you're going through a long dungeon in this game and one of your mages runs out of casting of spells, that's an excuse to turn them into a melee class, as long as you have some gear for them. So it is strategic, the job system. It won't be till Final Fantasy V that they perfect it, but you could see what they were going for even here at the beginning. Do I want to throw out a big bolt too? I can't remember who the boss of this place is, but I would like to have big spells for him. So I'm not going to. Everyone just melee. For now. Ohi, Shasku, and Farjalak. I feel like these are like Scandinavian. See, Tommy would have one-shotted him. They do it just to make you feel bad. They show you how you haven't properly strategized your turn. Oh god, I slapped the mic. The first mic slap of the playthrough just took place. '67's not close enough to 69 to warrant a comment, other than this comment explaining the lack of comment. Yeah, come on, Jeremy. Finish them off. Do all the work, baby. Damn, they must have such low HP. Dead. And also dead. Alright, don't forget that we bought 99 potions, so we can just heal indiscriminately without using all of Jeremy's charges. It's another nice thing about using the completely legitimate money strategy, as we're going to call it from now on, of the sight spell glitch. Is it a glitch or is it an intended function, son? Maybe Sakaguchi wanted to give you that chance. It is nice of them to give you an echo herb as you're trudging up here, since you're likely to be silenced. Did you ever see that movie? It was a parody of Silence of the Lambs called Silence of the Hams. I remember watching it once, and the only thing about that movie I remember is when the Clarice equivalent is talking to the Hannibal Lecter equivalent while he's locked up. He talks about the silence of the hams, and the joke is that hams are normally silent unless they like fall down the stairs or something. I don't know, man. I just don't know. Alright, what do you got to say now, Dish? If I remember right, I mean, we're a little past that. You could remember something else useful, I'm just saying. The 9th floor. You know, I haven't been consulting the ancient text at all. Let me make sure I haven't missed any secret items before we get too far in here. Oh, ancient text. Oh, ancient text. No, this place is pretty straightforward, it looks like. That's good. I like a Final Fantasy III dungeon that's a straight shooter. Another Salaman sword. Oh, no, wait. The Salaman sword is the fire sword equivalent in this one. Right? Am I thinking of the right thing? Yeah, Serpent Sword is lightning. That's what Tommy has equipped right now. Salamand is fire. And then there's an ice sword, but I don't know what this particular translation is going to call it. See if you can guess what the ice sword is going to be called. There they are. I really wish it like auto-sorted your potions to be at the top of the inventory, but what can you do other than bench and moan during your YouTube video? There's another flame mail. Did we ever even equip Tommy with his flame mail? We did. Okay, good. So the flame mail gives you ice resistance. Keep that in mind. Let's see, what's the best way to deal with this crowd? I'm going to hit you with the ice. We're going to hope that the melee boys can each one-shot their target. And then you're going to help the black mage kill that guy. Now that's a plan. Death. Thank God he didn't get turned to a frog. Thank God we didn't have to hear a frog. Well, our well-laid plans didn't quite work out, but I think we'll struggle through. How's everyone's HPs? Their happiness points. Is anyone going to evolve into an Espeon? Oh, good. The boss. Let's all drink a potion. I don't want anyone to be dehydrated before we fight the boss. Under Sir Zan's orders, I, Medusa, shall destroy this tower and drop the continent out of the sky. My God, not since the Mountain of Woe. Fail, has it been so bad? Damn it. Oh yeah, you could start throwing some of these damn items we have. I don't think we're coming across any ice enemies later. Hey, well, let's just throw Zeus's, we picked up a Zeus's raft somewhere in here. Yeah, there it is. I don't think Medusa has any particular elemental weaknesses, so just hit her with what you got. Damn, she certainly doesn't care about fire. Either that or she's just very magic resistant. Either that or she's just a huge bitch. Let's try ice. Ice could be nice. Yeah, throw a bomb shard. Maybe we'll have better luck. No? We saved our big spells for nothing. Nobody's allowed to be turned into a statue, damn it. I forbid it. Okay. Well, shit, just shoot arrows at her, I guess. Tempted to use some of these just to get them out of our inventory. What else do we have? Whatever. Looks like we're counting on the melee. There is a haste spell in this game, but we won't get it for a little while, unfortunately. It just completely whiffed. That did such little damage. Yep. Oh yeah, we could equip that Salaman sword on Tommy. I'm not sure if it has higher base attack power than his serpent swords. I'm just going to assume it does. When has assuming something ever been a bad idea? Might be a coincidence, but Tommy did all the work. We did it, Dash. He just has to check the power reactor. He'll probably just flip a circuit breaker or something. We'll all go home, share a few laughs, son. It could explode at any time. Okay, he's the surviving ancient guardian of this tower. He hadn't been doing a very good job. You were asleep. But then I guess the earthquake woke him up. And apparently he slept so long he got amnesia. Okay, all he's got to do is fix the reactor. Some elbow grease. Son, why are you talking so direly? Apparently the only way he can fix it is by jumping into it. This isn't me letting the music dramatically play, by the way. This is like a forced event. Like, I can't do anything right now except enjoy the story moment. And somehow Dash worked us outside with his final breath. What a guy. Everyone's favorite character. Well, can't mourn forever, son. We got shit to do. We've got a world to save. He even told us to go to Dwarf Town with his dying breath. And spoilers, this is where Dwarf Town is. Good for us. Not getting in any battles along the way. There's some optional stuff I'd like to do beforehand, mainly to free up some inventory space. Yeah, we can't fucking carry nothing. So let's do that. There's a town on the right side of the map that's not mandatory, but that's where we're headed. Oh yeah, I guess we could have restored our MP before all this. It might have made things go a little bit smoother. But what can you do? Now I've got to re-equip Tommy's serpent swords because they do more damage to sea enemies. The struggle never ends. At least the two of them working together can take out an enemy. It's good to see. Tommy's going to one-shot whatever we aim him at, so everybody else just pile on the other one. Death took the hermits. At least we got some skill ups. Let's see, where is the nearest place to heal? We can cast Sight. I would use this as an excuse to dupe these, but I don't have enough inventory space, so... Okay, so the town we want is that one in the bottom right. I'm trying to decide if it would be faster. I mean, it would be faster to just sail around there. We'll just not be at full strength as we do it. Well, son, we got a pretty good distance. I'm tempted to try actually running. You know what? We're just going to hold attack and speed up. This is how Final Fantasy was meant to be played, boys. We did it. Are we close to the next level? Oh, wait, magic's not going to tell us that. 316, so we'll get there. So you may have noticed this little town. We ran past it on Chocobo earlier, but unfortunately they put a mountain range there just to spite you if you try to come here without a boat. Gishel. Did you guys hear a sheep? I think we did. I like the little sound effect. What say you, townsfolk? We get to watch this little scripted scene where she chases this sheep. Once again, I feel like it was just the programmers so proud that they were able to put little animations like this in the game, because it doesn't really serve a purpose. Other than world building. Son. How long? Yeah, no wonder. Y'all at the ass end of the earth. Alright, what magic do you sell here? Is it the good shit? Because I'm a big fan. Son, Break, Ice 3, Shade, Libra, Confuse, and Mute. Not a bad bunch of spells. Of course, I gotta free some inventory space for I can even buy them. Alright, what can we sell? Lots of stuff. Lots of stuff. We don't need... Once again, I want to sell this leather junk, but if we change classes... talk about min-max and nightmare. We can probably sell this mithril, right? Yeah. We ain't never going to shoot all these arrows, so let's just get those out of inventory. This regular bow, we don't need. We got a better red mage sword. As much as I love red mages, I don't see us. Well, maybe in the next dungeon. I can turn old Benny Boy back into a red mage. He can live his dream. The red mage dream. He can lead the red mage life. And take a red mage wife. Only if he wants to. Do we need to carry this luck mallet around? No, not really. Okie dokie. I don't know if any enemies are going to be turning us into frogs anytime soon, but I guess it would behoove us to keep that in our inventory for now. Okay. I'm going to move you down here just for convenience for this one shopping trip, because it'll put the spells we buy at the top. Alright, I will take Libra, Confused, and Mute. Teach those to my good friend and literal personal savior, Jeremy the White Mage. We can't buy all 3 Black Mage spells yet, so we'll just get Ice 3. Shade paralyzes enemies and Break petrifies them. Although this game introduced slow petrification where it takes like multiple turns, so I think that's what Break does. And of course, if we wanted more toads and minis, this is where we could get them. Ice 3. There we go. Alright, let's go get us some spell money, as it's known. The old classic. Everyone's favorite. Spell duplication. Alright, step back into town. Gishel. That sounds like a familiar word for somebody who's played Final Fantasy. Alright, lady. Take these, and these, and these. Just enough to get us a little bit of spending money, son. And then my boy, the Black Mage. What magic does he have on him again? I don't want to have to rebuy shit. Okay, he's got Ice 3 and Shade. He needs Break, Kit Kat bars. Black Mages love them. And there we go. Do we have enough spending money? We are going to the dwarf town once we get back on track, and there's quite a bit of gear to buy. So we might rest up and then do some more shenanigans. Yeah, I noticed. What are you doing over here in the radish patch? Well, they get real mad at you if you try to walk in there. Grumble. I need the meat item from Zelda 1. Fine. Idiot. I don't even want to walk through your turnip patch or whatever the hell it is. I'm imagining there's a way to get into that river and that it leads to good items. Look at all these distant lands where the good items live. I have to find a way over there. I found a carrot. I found a magic key. I found a magic key. We could actually open those towers back at the abandoned castle now. Nothing over here? Fine. Ooh, what's these secrets right here you didn't want me to know about, son? Yeah, Sakaguchi's so fucking mad. Oh, it just takes you right back over here. Sakaguchi is so passively. He just looked up from his manga. It made a noise. Okay, you can buy more magic keys here. I don't know if we're going to encounter a lot of locked doors here in this part of the game. So I'm not going to worry about it. This ain't Dragon Quest. This ain't Dragon Warrior. This ain't Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi. These are all real words. Son, how dare you doubt me. What are you doing running around this bar, little girl? The fat chocobo store things in his stomach. There's a fat chocobo? A portly chocobo, you say. It sounds real interesting. If you see a wall like that in Final Fantasy III, that means it's a secret. What are you doing here in the secret closet? Waiting for to get your Hogwarts invite? Oh. Well, you broke the fourth wall. The kayfabe. The kayfabe. I guess we need to talk to the dancing lady. Tee-hee, I'm a dancer. Y'all, like, share the exact same character model. I think it's the same lady. She's just always a step ahead of us. I like to think she was inspired by, if you remember in Final Fantasy I, there's a dancer walking around the first town, Cornelia, but she doesn't really do anything. Let's once again tickle them iris. Same song. I want to talk to this old man. He played too, and he played knick-knack on my shoe, son. It's a knick-knack, paddywhack. Give the frog alone. Okay. Items, you say? I'm a fine purveyor of goods and sundries, son. I've got a couple of open inventory slots, I guess. Alright, what is it we want from you? Buy. Oh, so this carrot item is supposed to be Gishel greens. The recurring item from Final Fantasy that always has something to do with chocobos, because this is the town of Gishel. But for some reason, I don't know if it wouldn't fit or what, they've just named it carrot. So when we get to later Final Fantasies and I start talking about Gishel greens and you're just looking around confused, you're like, is he talking about carrots? Now you'll know what I was talking about. My good proprietress, we only need one bed for the four of us. We sleep head to toe, like 4 batteries in a Game Boy, son. That's us, them onion boys. You get through a lot of car rides. God, I remember one time during hurricane season when I was a kid and the power got knocked out for a fucking week. The only thing that got me through it was I had just gotten a hold of Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3. And I had enough AA batteries to get me through those trying times because I could only play the damn Game Boy during the day. I didn't have a worm light at the time. You're like, why didn't he have a backlit LCD touchscreen, Uncle Tenfey? Hasn't that always been ubiquitous technology? All right, I want enough money that when we go to the dwarf town, I can buy whatever the hell I want without thinking about it. So I'm going to do more magic duplication shenanigans. And as always, I'll spare you all. I'll spare you all the shame of having to watch me destroy the playthrough. I've thrown away my integrity, JoJo. Dio got done playing Metroid doing the wall climb glitch. And now he's duping his magic in Final Fantasy III. Jonathan Joestar just gave up on even trying to correct him, son. He already knows it's too late. And that's the way it's done. Here, put the white mage in the front since he's financing this whole thing, son. Hello, fellow white mage. Would you like to buy all of these magic spells? Thank you. That's like one of the things that makes the least amount of sense in old JRPGs like this is the way the shop system works. It's like, why would they want to buy a bunch of those magic scrolls for me? I mean, I guess theoretically they're selling them, but does anyone else buy magic in this game? I like how Undertale, of all things, addresses that. Because when you get to that first town with the bunny shopkeeper and you click sell, she's like, why would I want to buy your garbage? I'm running the store. You're not doing a genocide playthrough, are you? No, because the correct term for it is a no mercy playthrough. And also, I would never. The characters in Undertale are all my good friends. Well, most of them. Some of them. There's like 2 or 3 I can tolerate. Oh, God. Alright, well, we're quite powerful. We've got our magic charges, which means I ain't scared of shit. I wish a hermit would come after me right now, boys. Arrowed. Bolt 2, son. We could only hope. That German Shepherd, or I believe it's a German Shepherd, from that video I like to bring up that's so hype whenever Bolt is on the TV. Bolt, of course, if I haven't directly pointed it out and somehow you're not picking up on the context, being the movie about the little dog that thinks he's like a superhero. But it's it's such real kayfabe that even he believes it, and he's played by John Travolta. Well, if Bolt 2 ever comes out, boys, that dog's going to be so hyped. Of course, the problem with liking YouTube videos with animals in it is that you never know how old the animal was when the video was taken. And then if you're like 15 years later, you're like, hey, yeah, that dog that made me laugh and have good times. I wonder what he's up to. Spoilers, he might not still be around. I just thought y'all should face the grim reality that animals don't live forever. Except lobsters, I think. Wasn't that a movie where like the guy goes to a hotel and they're like, all right, you're not allowed to beat off, and also you're going to turn you into a lobster unless you could trick some woman into dating you. I never saw it, but I'd like to think I picked up on the spirit of the movie. Look, we could sail over, if that water went up one more tile, we could sail over the edge of the world, son. The crowd back in the day that didn't believe in the curvature of the earth would feel so justified. Alright, before we go into Dwarf Town, I do want to visit a chocobo forest. And fortunately, I just happen to know where one's located. Governor. Threads on a bobbin, as they say. Boom. Enjoy your big bolts. Oh yeah. You could tell they loved it. With his final breath, he tried to slap Chris, and Chris just no-sold it. His hair didn't even rustle from the wind of the claw hand going by his face. Alright, so there is a chocobo forest, spoilers, right up here. Yeah. Now, you might be like, why would you want to ride a chocobo on this little tiny island? Well, that's not the main reason we came here. Now that we have Gishel greens, I'm just going to call them Gishel greens, even if it says carrots on the screen. Ignore your eyes, son. It was Tenfey's final command. But anywhere you find a spot where it says smells like chocobo, if you use a Gishel green... Where I was looking for Gishel greens. I fooled myself. Boom! Presenting the Fat Chocobo. So if you've ever been curious where the hell the Fat Chocobo, who's a recurring Final Fantasy thing, came from, it's this game. Well, anyway, if we talk to the Fat Chocobo, he can eat any of our items and store them in his stomach. And then if we ever want them back, we can just ask for them back. So this is how you hoard items in this game without feeling bad. So take my spellcasting items that I'm never going to remember to use. Maiden's Kiss, I don't think I need right this second. We're going to go open those chests with the magic. You put my leather in there. Leather. Holy arrows. Mithril rods. Mithril dagger. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Now, the only downside is anytime we come back to one of these areas, we have to use another Gishel green. Excuse me? Fine, I'll just ride you out of here, boys.